Market stalls and shops now hug the sides of the Bagram army base. The concrete blast barriers shielding a now deserted airfield, once the centre of US operations in Afghanistan. The airfield's now been handed over to the Afghan security forces, without ceremony and without any official announcement. Afghan soldiers have been busy mending a breach in the perimeter after looters got inside. Most NATO forces have quietly left this week, months ahead of the American president's promise they'd be gone by September the 11th, after 2 decades. It's in stark contrast to the public demonstration of force by the US-led coalition which invaded the country in 2001. The coalition toppled the Taliban regime, which was sheltering Osama bin Laden after the 9/11 attacks, promising to bring democracy and security to the country. But after trillions of dollars spent on the war, thousands of soldiers and civilian lives lost, the country is still as insecure as ever. We've been given exceptional access to the Afghan Special Forces, the Commandos. They're now spearheading the fight against extremism. Remnants of ISIS are now embedded with the Taliban fighters they'll face, and these are the soldiers who'll be at the sharp end of rooting them out. They're just training, but soon these commandos will be facing Taliban extremists for real. For the first time in nearly 2 decades, it'll be without international support. The rest of the country, the world, will be watching to see how they get on. They're armed with American-supplied weaponry and ammunition. The training base was set up by their American and British partners. But even these elite forces have suffered some terrible losses in the lead-up to the international troop pullout. Hours before the Bagram base was vacated, the Taliban was posting videos on Twitter claiming hundreds of Afghan soldiers have been handing in their weapons and surrendering to them. Dozens of districts have fallen under Taliban control in the weeks after the US administration said its troops were leaving the country and before the conclusion of peace negotiations. Now there's growing anxiety about what that will mean, amid fears it'll see a return to the extremist rule which saw women flogged, girls banned from school and public executions. The hasty military exit has alarmed those who worked with the international troops and who now fear being targeted by an empowered Taliban who see them as colluding with the enemy.
He says when US forces withdraw from Afghanistan, the Taliban will come and they will kill us. Yeah, my feeling is very bad.
Security is tense in the country, with US intelligence warning weeks ago that the Afghan government could fall within months of the international troops departing. Alex Crawford, Sky News, Kabul.